for women, I've heard most of them, they hardly learn and gain experiences, to prevent similar situation from reappearing in their life.
But see, that's the trouble, because that's what we see. When we see situations where a woman at last can have 3 children from multiple men, not even the same man, and not be married to any of them.
Continued the error.
You get it.
Again and again.
Good.
And again.
You see it. And then wants to lobby the blame on men. Meanwhile, finally, it's you as a woman who makes a consensual decision, unless you're going to tell us that you were forced.
So I'm beginning to believe that men and women are not equal.
I don't think it's a matter of not being equal. You see, we are human.
But do you agree we are equal?
I believe we're equal but different.
How do you explain equal and different?
You see,
when it is not equal,
this is why I say we're equal but different.
How can it be different?
Because we're a human form. That's a matter of fact. The only thing that makes us vary is the change of one chromosome. We talked about XX and XY
Let me
earlier.
give an obvious example. Equal and different. I think they mean the same.
No, equal and different means
they
like
mean
this.
Different things.
You see, equal and different, right? Let's use the concept of polarization, temperature. Temperature, hot and cold.
Yes.
Hot and cold. They're polarizations like man and woman. You see it. There's still temperature though. But someone will try to think that heat and cold are 2 different things. No, they're temperature. But they're different and equal, because at polarization, a very intense fire, you get it, can evaporate water, and it can melt very cold ice. But very cold ice, very cold water,
yes,
you see it, and it can extinguish a small fire. You get it? No, I'm just trying to say that if you link it now to men and women, using the natural
law. Ice and fire,
law,
are they equal?
Ice and fire, they're equal.
They're equal.
They're equal but different.
Oh, you are still confusing me.
No, I'm not confusing, because look at the man and woman, you see. A man might be physically stronger than a woman, but mentally, if you put both of them inside a forest to let's say, combat each other, and you give both of them equal combat training to survive, there's no guarantee that the man would easily defeat that woman. You see it? Because mentally, you get it? Even though a man will want to assume that he is smarter than a woman, that's not the truth. Men use their brains more logically than women, meaning that men look at things from a more detailed perspective. They look at things inductively, that how do small parts make up a whole? So a man can easily design a machine because he starts worrying about how this part, combustion engine with this spark will do this, and then he starts to go. The woman now has a deductive way of looking at things. When we say emotionally, we mean that she looks at things from a whole perspective deductively and then breaks it down into its component parts. So you see that their brains, it's not that one is smarter than the other. It's that the way that they reason is different. So if that woman put into the same force with that man with the same training, combat-wise as him, though he has physical advantage if he puts his hands on her, if you put her in a position where she can reason holistically, deductively, that I am in this environment, and though he's stronger than me, with my combat training, I can set up traps and then use
You've just made me to...
You feel me?
To understand something now. Like you said, men, mostly they are intellectual people. Mm-hmm. They like to think logically.
Yes, they're more inductively dominant in their way of looking at reality. That's why you see men go into the sciences more.
Women are more intuitive.
Yes, deductive in their reasoning. That is it. They look at things whole and generalize and then make conclusions.
So it means if a woman, really group of women, large group of women come together and they just want their society transformed, it means they will start working on bringing up positive or negative kids, nice husbands, nice family raising, upbringing, and then
not necessarily, my brother. You want to know why? Because what we see, with the trouble with deductive reasoning is that it makes a lot of grand assumptions. assuming that the details don't matter. You see where men and women now get into conflict and clash. A man would prefer to design his trip very well and calculate the variables and finances that he needs to use before he gets involved in a project, so that before he gets to the end, he shouldn't go halfway and discover he doesn't have the resources and fail. You get it? Mm-hmm. But a woman would just have the vision and see it in her mind. And it sounds noble when people say it, and people are like, oh yeah, that's the best way. But it's not. Because women, as we see them with lack of accountability, with being impulsive with finances, that when they just have money, they just want to use it. It means that a woman with that nature of being deductive, that, oh, I see the forest for the trees. She goes into the forest assuming that since she saw trees, there are all going to be valuable trees. You get it? Meanwhile, if she would have ran a feasibility before, like a man with inductive, he would go and see each tree here is which tree. Yes, there are trees. It's good there's trees. This is a great investment. It's a great project. But which trees are here? Is it Iroko? Is it redwood? Is it cedar? Is it cypress? Is it eucalyptus? Because I need to know whether I will cut them down or keep which one will draw which water, if I'm going to plant now a farm here, garden, you get it. I run these statistics so that when I'm investing my money, I'm sure that if I came like with that deductive, holistic way, it's more of like generally assuming with her thinking, which is not a bad thing, that it will turn out the way that I'm expecting in my feelings. I have a feeling. That's how women are. Like I say, I don't stigmatize and say it's wrong. But I'm making it clear that because that is her nature and there are lapses for lack of calculation, that could even get everyone harmed. You get it?
Feelings?
Yes. If you do things on emotions, assuming with feeling it should be correct, you get into your car assuming that yesterday since you got into the car, it was okay, even though you might have felt the car is jerking or some things, but you don't feel it's a problem today. A man would reason that no, those things that I'm feeling and shaking the car, it indicates there should be a deeper reason for me to pop the hood before I get into the car today to understand why this was happening yesterday. And he would even detect something now that he knows that we shouldn't even take the car. So you need both of them to work together is what I'm finally saying. That's why you see that in a relationship, in a family, there must be a man, there must be a woman. Because even in the administration you're talking about, the best government administrations would be administrations where women are active, men are active. So the Judeo-Christian concept suppresses the role of the woman. And then you see that's what's translated into the society and the marital home, which is why the wife is possessed by the man in the Judeo-Christian concept. The ring is a symbol of the chains that men used to enslave women in their culture of. Because when you read the Bible, it tells you how if you raid a village and there are women of a foreign tribe, it gives you clear prescription of how to take these women as your slave wives. You get it? And then you can have children with them. Islam too gives the same codes. You don't see Ifa with codes like that. You don't move around Africa and you hear in our oral traditions that we have clear traditional code that explains, you get it.
That's very true. That's very true.
You take a wife and control her like this. If you went and fought and you took a wife, you own her like this. We know, because we know that you honor her family by paying bride price to take her like an anointed, you anoint her. You're taking her like a priestess so that you and her, you get it.
Yeah.
We will kneel together at shrine in the home and honor our ancestors because we will become ancestors and we will form another flesh and continue. That is the theme in African spirituality, in nature spirituality, that they don't do it in Judeo-Christian.
So if we all will live in balance like that with natural principles,
you can't disrespect your wife if you know that she is the code that when it's intense, it can quench my fire. So when you two have a relationship and she gets upset or is angry with you, you two from your masculine perspective of being an intense fire that can also dry her out and she knows, you know, and you balance yourself.
you will not act.
Yes, you won't. You would reason if you were actually wrong, and in your temperament you would stay calm so that you're checking each other.
Balancing.
See it? With that respect, we're equal but different, but we have to balance our compatibility.
Self-control.
That's it. But in a Judeo-Christian construct, no, she's battling to believe that she's supposed to be submissive to you when she knows by nature there is no animal that is perfectly, blindly submissive to anyone or anything on this planet.